Hi guys, welcome back. This is Rakesh. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will see what is for loop in Angular. We have already discussed about what is a structure directive in previous lecture. We have already discussed about how many types of structure directive. So there are three types of a structure directive. First is ngIf, second is ngFor, and third is ngSwitch. We have already discussed about what is ngIf in previous lecture, and now in this video we will only focus on what is ngFor structure directive, right? Let us start with the basic definition of ngFor structure directive. Whenever we will use any structural directive, suppose that if ngIf directive, ngFor directive, yeah, ngSwitch directive, first of all we have to use asterisk symbol, and after that we have to use only HTML file, not a TypeScript file. So let's start with the basic definition of ngFor loop and how to use ngFor loop. What is the syntax of ngFor loop? Now let's start with ngFor loop. ngFor loop, I hope you are aware with for loop. That is the same concept here, right? ngFor loop also used for iterate of data over the inside array, inside object. You can easily iterate data with the help of ngFor loop, right? So we have one documents like ngFor is built in template drive directive that make it easy to iterate over something like an array, yeah, object, and create a template for each item. Now here you can see the basic syntax of ngFor. ngFor, first of all I will use asterisk symbol. After that I will write ngFor and equal to, and we will write here inside string let is just like a variable, like let item of items, like item, it is just like a array name. You can use any array name, you can use any object name, and this array, this item will iterate of data from this array. That is called ngFor. This is a very simple concept how to use ngFor loop in Angular. So now let's start with the real project. So let's move on id. First of all I will in previous lecture we have already discussed about what is ngIf. So I will comment of this code, and now let's start with the first of all I will create a one table. So uh, I will create one table. Inside it, in I will use table name like table, and inside this table I will use a table header and write here table row, and inside I will write table data, right? So I will write here, you can write any, you can write something like employee name, right? Employee name, and you can write I will use another data, employee id, and employee position, employee address, and you can use like employee salary, right? Employee salary. So this data, this is a header part of this table, right? So I will create of this I will create a body of this table t body. Inside this t body I will write here, I will use tr and write here body data, right? Now I will copy and I will paste, right? This is just very simple HTML table, right? Now let's move on user interface. So first of all, I will use background color. Let's say I will use inside header, like we can use style and background color, like you can use any color, like let's say just use a brown color. Now here you can see this is perfect. Okay, so how to use a ngFor loop on this table, right? So first of all, I will create a array. So I will create array like employee. I will use create array name like employee details, like employee details. Inside this array I will set like any data type, because any data type, uh, like you can say except all data types, like you can use boolean data types, you can use string data types, whenever we will use any data types. So I will set any data types. After that I will create array. Inside this array I will use object, and here I will write here employee name, right? Employee name I will write here Rakesh, and after that employee id, right? Employee id we can write here something, and employee like position, employee position, like you can write software developer, right? Software developer, right? And employee address can write here Delhi, and employee salary, right? Last is employee salary. So I will use 25,000. Okay, so I will copy this object. uh, I will copy this object. uh, I'm just creating a array, so please don't confuse, because it's a very simple how to use ngFor loop. And so this data also, we can iterate of this data by using ngFor loop, right? So first of all I will use inside this table, inside this data. So I will use inside this table row, I'll write here. First of all, you must remember, whenever we will use any structural directive, you must have to use first of all asterisk symbol, right? And ngFor and equal to let, you can write, you can write any name, like item of this array. I will use this array name, because iterate of data from this array, right? So I will copy and I will paste inside this ngFor. And after that, we have already discussed about what is interpolation. So interpolation is just a bind of data from one component to another component, right? So it is just a kinds of data binding. So I will use here inside this data, I will use a string interpolation. So let's say I will use a string interpolation. The symbol of a string interpolation is double curly bracket, right? So I will use this item, and inside this item I will write employee name dot item. That's it, right? So after that, I will again write here. Uh, I will use first of all I will use item and dot employee name, right? Item dot employee ID, right? Item dot, sorry, item item dot employee position, right? This is a very simple way how to use a for loop in I sorry not items item and item, right? And again I will save, first of all I will save a ts file, and after that I will save a html file, right? Now again let's move on. HTML file. Now here you can see the data is displaying in table, right? So I will change of this properties name, like you can write here Chandan, and you can write here Amma, Aman, Ram, Ankit, and Rahul, right? And you can change like employee ID. You can use any data type because we have already set any data types, right? And you can use software, senior software developer, and also use junior software developer, right? Like you can use UP and USA, and you can write here Patna. So this is a very basic concept how to use a for loop in Angular framework. So I hope you understood my point, and how to use ng for loop with the help of structure directive. So thank you so much, thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel. If you have any questions, so please put on my description comment box, and please like my video, and thank you so much, thanks.